discuss on question number one from Srini Electronic standpoint. What difficulties might Nakisha's performance appraisal practices create? Okay, the answer will be Nakisha's performance appraisal depends upon his self-concerns rather than on the duties as a professional, which can create a problem for her in the future of being biased. In this case, the firm's compensation policy is biased on the performance appraisal that has a merit increase of 10% in addition to a regular cost of living raise if the worker performs outstandingly. Therefore, Nakisha gives Bill a good rating so that she can help him financially. However, she can do this only for once or twice, but she would not be able to help him forever. Next, the process of appraisal that Nakisha is following now is against the general ethics and values of a company, as this is not her money that she is giving to Bill, but the company's money, which would have gone to a person who had worked hard to earn it. In lenient ratings, the employees can receive higher appraisal but might cause problem, while the staff might take it for granted. Nakisha's act might disrupt company productivity. In this case, the employees might as well bring down the company's level productivity. The employees' skills, abilities, and knowledge will never be improved if they keep on doing that. The employees will not do anything and just rely on what Nakisha's been doing. The employees will not do the work because Nakisha will always cover the work for the employees. Furthermore, if Nakisha keeps on doing it this way, the goals and the strategic planning of the company will not be achieved. The goals and the strategic planning in the company are important in order to ensure the company will survive strong in the industry. The company should only recognize the workers who sacrifice their efforts and time in order to assure the company can get their profit and they will be rewarded in return. The company must ensure the quality of the product will be at the top level. The standard of the company also will be at the same position. The quality product produced will start from the quality people work to produce the product. Nakisha might at last make a borrowing from the company after she had been giving her own money to the employees. She might be the one who is asking for money from the company. This will cause the company to face higher burden when issued borrowing. The company will have difficulties giving borrowing to give to their employees. This is because it is wasteful in terms of compensation and incentives benefits. Thus, when employee turnover rate is higher, it will lead to higher costs for company to recruit new member. Next, Nakisha's ways of performance appraisal will excite the employees not to work, but instead only they may simply start telling Nakisha their problems to gain sympathy and get compensation, which eventually destroys the whole process of performance appraisal. When Nakisha used this way, the employees will 100% rely on Nakisha on every work they are being told to do. Last and not least, Nakisha can talk to Bill, explaining to him that he should not say anything to anyone because it will cause a disruption. If in the future that she notices that her employees' performance start to decrease or she notices a change because of Bill's case, she will come first to Bill and then have a meeting with all her staff explaining why she did that and it is a special case and it would not happen again, so she can explain that if the situation does not change, there will be no more fibers. Thank you.
Question 2. What can Nakisha do now to diminish the negative impact of her evaluation of Bill? Performance appraisal is a systematic and periodic process that assesses an individual's employee's job performance and productivity in relation to the certain pre-established criteria and organized object. The first step that needs to be taken by Nakisha in order to diminish the negative effect of her evaluation of Bill is revise the performance appraisal system. A negative evaluation should not happen in an organization. As a superior, they should carefully outline the guidelines for the performance appraisal system. This is to ensure that all the employees had been carefully observed. Performance appraisal is generally done in a systematic way, which the supervisor measures the pay of employees and compare it with the targets and plans, analyze the factor behind work performance of employee, and the employer are in position to guide the employee for a better performance. Performance appraisal system is based on the employee's capabilities to achieve it. It must be slightly higher than the employee's capabilities. This is to ensure that the employees become competitive among their colleagues in order to achieve the benchmark set by the organisation. By revising their performance appraisal system, the organisation can actually analyse the strength and weakness of their employees so that the new job can be designed for efficient employees. Before they recruit the worker, they have selected the right person for the right job. So they have to ensure that the right worker for the right job works on it to achieve the company's goal. The new revised system must be made according to the employees' capabilities. This is because performance appraisal system is served to act as motivation tools for the employees. The system must not be set too high or too low. In order to trigger their competitiveness in their inner self, it must be slightly higher than the capabilities. This will create a challenge to build their critical thinking and creative problem solving. They also will follow the blue ocean strategy in making decisions for the company. As we all know, an erroneous decision will disrupt the company's operation and will put the company in a risk. However, if the system is being set too low compared to their capabilities, the employee will take things for granted. They cannot produce an outstanding job and become unskilled worker. They are not being competent among the cliques and left behind their allies. Furthermore, the employee will tend to be bored with their job scope as it is a repetitive task. They also tend to be demotivated since it is being set too low. Thus, an appropriate revised performance appraisal is crucial to be implemented in SHAROMNIZAM electronic in order to trigger their competitiveness. When it is being revised, Nakisha herself needs to carefully follow the guideline. The next step is they need to set the new benchmarking. Benchmark is the process of comparing one's business processes and performance metrics to industry best and best practice from another company. Dimension typically measured are quality, time and cost. This process is interrelated with the revised performance appraisal system. As we are well informed, this system needs to be gradually revised. Once the employee is able to reach the targeted benchmark, it can act as an indicator to change the benchmark. As being explained earlier, it is function to motivate the employee to improve themselves for the sake of the organisation. If the employees can easily achieve the new benchmark, then it becomes the organisation's responsibility to change it to a new one. The higher the targeted benchmark, the higher it will trigger the competitiveness among employees. It will strengthen the teamwork when it is needed. When they are being competitive, it will benefit the company as a whole. They also will gain more profit and productivity as their employee complete their task on time. They are also able to follow the motion and time theory, which will reduce the time consumption in completing their works, as well as lessen the cost incurred by the company since they are able to complete the task on time. As for Nakisha, she obviously does not follow the benchmark set by the company since Nakisha rated Bill outstanding in virtually every category, although Bill could not be considered more than the average worker.
Let's move to the next point, which is hire professional observer. Biasness is something that needs to be prevented in an organisation. Performance appraisal is something that related to increase the employee's motivation. When biasness occur, for sure it will cause dissatisfaction and demotivate people. They tend to feel that they have worked hard for the company but receive nothing in return. Employees also need to feel appreciated by their company. They have been loaded with job enrichment but without job empowerment. So this performance appraisal will take place in such a situation. In order to avoid bias in evaluating the employees, the organisation need to hire a professional observer which from the same organisation but preferably from different departments to evaluate their workers. However, there are also cases that they hire the observer from the same department but precaution need to be taken in order to avoid such thing. The job observer will watch and observe the worker performing their job tasks and record the finding. The result then will be handed for their superior for further action. By hiring an observer, they can actually personally observe them rather than relying on what people say about them. Hence, biasness will not occur. This will establish a sound basis for supervisor expectation of subordinate performance and subsequent compensation. Based on Nakisha's situation, she does not carefully observe Bill according to the guideline. Due to her unjust observation, the company will suffer from her action because they compensate the wrong person. Bill is not the right person to receive compensation under performance appraisal systems. Other employee will question the rationality behind his compensation, seeing he is not an average worker. This has created biasness in their organization. Hence, personal observer is required to overcome this problem. Due to the dissatisfaction experienced by the worker which their right has been denied, they will feel demotivated and decided to leave the organization. There are situations where when the dissatisfied worker who maintain in the company, but they will reduce their productivity of their works. Hence, it will increase job turnover rate and increase absenteeism. As a result, the company will invest more in recruiting new employees. Next, make a distinctive line between personals and work. Helping others is a very normal action. However, if we constantly helping them till it burdening ourselves, then something need to be pondered. As being said earlier, helping others is good, but there is guideline that need to be followed. Making a loan can lead to a flood of requests from other employees, putting you in the awkward position of saying yes to some and no to others. If we decided to lend money, there are several steps need to be considered. The first one is allow an advance on their payroll check. Typically, an employee who need a loan so desperately that he or she turn to their boss to meet a short-term financial problem and unexpected medical expenses or tuition bill might be resolved by just simply advancing their money on their next paycheck. This is simpler than making a loan and can limit potential losses due to non-payment. Secondly, avoid off-the-book loan. The majority of loans made by small business owners to employees are done as off-the-book loan. The owner see it as a favor to the employee. All the loan must be jotted down so that timely payment could be made. So instead of giving personal loan for another employee, the employee who are in need of money can turn to their company for a small loan. So they will not dig their own pocket to help others. As we can see in Nakisha, she has no boundary between personal and work since she has met them. Generally, her action in which she is willing to dig her own pocket to provide a small loan to employees is a human action, since she is able to show her empathy toward her worker. However, the thing become not rational since Bill totally rely on her money to solve his personal responsibility. Bill himself need to have his boundary between works and personal. He needs to be responsible of his own problem without relying on others. It is okay to rely on others for certain matter, but not totally rely on them. They also need to have their own judgment. Well, as a conclusion, Nakisha should stop doing such thing because it might lead her to difficulty in future. I think that